So it's been 18 months since I have purchased my FB RX7. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about the ownership experience. In the last video, we talked about owning a rotary engine, reality of owning a rotary, and some stuff specifically about RX7 platforms in general. But today I want to give you guys my personal experience with the FB RX7, one of the most affordable cars that you can really buy that hasn't gone astronomical in price and is fun. This is a fun car. There's two versions of the FB RX7. There's the SA and the FB. Technically different generations, but technically not. 79 and 80 were SA, and then all the following were the FB. Different front bumpers, slightly different things just throughout the cars, but mainly it's just a cosmetic difference. Right here I have a 1982 FB RX7. I prefer these earlier RX7s in terms of the interiors and some of the features compared to the later ones. I have a GSL, which means I have a limited slip differential in the rear and upgraded amenities in the interior like power windows. These cars do have a carbureted 12A. It's a two-rotor with a carburetor, naturally aspirated, no turbos or anything in these. But the GSL SE, which is the top tier of these cars, was a 13B fuel-injected car like the standard FC RX7. And there is a unicorn, which is known as the FB Turbo. They have turbos. They didn't make them for America. They're super rare, so we don't even have to talk about them in this video. But I just thought I would mention it because it's fun. But when it comes down to this car, I've owned it for a while. I haven't really driven it too much and haven't really done anything in particular with the car. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that. Mainly, I have focused my attention on other things, and I've just been enjoying the car for what it is until I want to do all the things to it. There are quite a few modifications I want to make. I did go back and forth between selling it for a little bit, but honestly, if I can get myself a little bit more space, I would love to keep this car in my collection. I adore it, and, well, it's staying for now. I can't sell this thing without making videos on it because there's not too many people doing things with these cars. And that brings me to a larger point of the FB. And the biggest thing I've experienced owning this early RX7 so far is the lack of information, the lack of videos, the lack of just anything about this car in media. When you do look up videos on a Miata, for example, you can find literally everything there is to know about a Miata. You can disassemble and put a Miata back together if you really wanted to from watching videos on them. But when it comes down to the RX7 and the FB more in particular, there's very few videos out there. And they have a couple weird things, like when I was putting back the brake caliper, there's a spring inside the brake caliper. It came out and I didn't know how it went back in, and I kind of sat there looking at it like, I wish there was a diagram or something, and I had to go super deep into the forums in order to find information. If it was a Miata or a more popular car, I could have simply just looked up a video and saw that someone had explained it. But the one video of someone changing out the brakes on an RX-7, they didn't mention it whatsoever. So, you know, I was kind of out of luck without having a service manual or looking on the forums. There's a lot of information on these cars on the forums, right? A lot of the information is old information that hasn't really been updated, or it's hard to find, or, you know, you can't really believe it 100%. There's not too many people doing things with these cars, and I think it's a shame because it's a really fun platform. The parts out there are also fairly limited. There aren't too many different options you can go for. If you want to order OEM parts, there's only a few places where you can get some of the oddities, and they're expensive, so you're better off buying used parts when it comes down to these cars, because a lot of people are parting them out rather than purchasing new things like fusible links or any of those. And that brings me to the next point, and they have some weird things because they're a little vintage. You know, these cars are from the 80s. This is the oldest car that I've had, so I'm definitely learning a lot of things when it comes with the territory of owning a car this old. I've had a lot of old motorcycles, but the oldest car I ever had was my Miata, and then there's this. So I now have another car that's an 83, but the RX-7 it's a little behind the time. My Porsche 944 uses like regular fuses. It has a lot of regular stuff from Volkswagen and things of the time. But when you look at this car, there's a lot of weird things. Fusible links was a big one. I just didn't know what that even was until I bought them. It's basically just a wire that acts like a fuse that burns out, and you can't tell if it burned out until your car just stops working completely. So there's that, but also just a lot of weird things with this car. I'm having a couple of electrical gremlins, like my headlights don't want to quite flip up, so I don't have headlights at night right now, and I'm pretty sure my fusible link has gone out again, but that was my fault, not the car's fault. My hatch doesn't seem to want to pop properly. Just like small things, right? And that just comes with cars of the age and the territory of owning it, right? There's small things that are going to go wrong. Honestly, outside of just the small things with the age of the car, like the brakes not fully working properly, and I tried bleeding them, and then one thing failed, and then the next thing failed, and all of those things, and that's a big reason why I haven't really dove too deep into the car. I got it working again, and like I'm just gonna enjoy it, but really the next step in what I really want to do with the car in the future is do some modifications, potentially change the calipers and rotors. I want to change the suspension in the car. I want to convert this car over to manual brakes. A couple of people, you know, again, there's not too much information on these cars, but a couple of people convert these from the assisted brakes to the manual brakes, and I'm pretty sure my booster has failed. Air is failing and it's breathing in air, which is the reason why the car is having some stalling issues when I pump the brakes a little bit. Not really a safety thing until, well, I guess they failed, but again, that's the reason why I don't drive the car too much. Converting to manual is a little bit harder said than done. I probably should be working on the car and ordering parts for it and whatnot, but it's just a nice car to drive. I haven't taken the car out on too many bigger drives because there's so many little things that I want to fix, but it is just a really fun car to drive. There's a lot of things that I want to do with it other than just the manual brake conversion. I want to fix all the little stuff and cut a couple of interior trim bits, adjust the steering column, change the suspension, wheels, tires, all the basic good stuff. And that stuff is going to come soon. But I have another project that I've decided to put before this one. And a question that I'm gonna get a lot, I'm sure of it, is, wait, Nav, rotary hat, where do I get one of those? Well, they're officially live as of last week on vintageracingclub.co. Go there now. There's a limited batch of them. We might do them again in the future, and I hope to do a couple more rotary stuff. But for now, these rotary hats are live. That is a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun just working on the car, but it gets frustrating when things never go your way. Anytime I've tried working on this car, things have never gone my way, and the information is very scarce. I've learned a lot since I bought this car on working on things, so hopefully my mechanical just knowledge will be able to push through and get me to have this car where I want it to be and learn some things on the way. But you know, 3-4 years ago, if I had bought this car before my Miata, before I started really working on bikes a lot, I would have struggled a lot with this thing. Honestly, this car might still be parked in the garage on jack stands at that point. But as far as the rotary experience, the engine's really nice, and again, I said this in the last video where we reviewed the car, this is more of like a vintage car, and that's kind of like the way I'm looking at it because of so many things are just like broken on it. Like the suspension on this side is completely done. The seats peeling a little bit, the brakes don't work 100%, so you know, just it's the vintage car experience. When with my Miata, if something like that was an issue, I would fix it immediately. But again, a lot of small things are adding up on this vehicle, which just makes me want to do it the proper way, and I'm holding off on doing it the proper way when I have a little bit more space, time, and really enough energy to push all the things through. That kind of makes sense as far as if anyone's wondering, you know, where are we going with the RX7 here in a little bit. But that's kind of my experience with the car so far. The things that I've learned, the experience that I've had. I wish there's more people doing things with these cars. I find them to be really, really cool. And I originally bought this car and I saw a picture of a wide-bodied one. And I was like, oh my God, I need an FB in my life. I'll get the Rotary Boy experience, but also at the same time, it's just a really cool platform that not a lot of people touch. And it's not one of those things where I understand why people don't touch this. It's more so of, yo, this is still kind of slept on. I recommend that more people jump into this, and just got to be aware of the quirk of the rotary. Please don't swap the rotary out of these cars. Do not put 305 V8s in them. I think it just ruins the soul. There's already so many ruined cars out there. It's good to have a car with an actual rotary engine in it. It's cool. But with that said, yeah, those are just some things that I had on the top of my head that I wanted to say about the RX7. If you guys are interested, once again, heavyweight house tees are live. Rotary hats are live. But not only that, I gotta show you something really cool. On all of my cars, you'll see a VRC sticker. Vintage Racing Club, obviously. These might look a little red on camera or super pink on camera, but I think you guys know what color that is. But we got black, green, blue, and of course the Ruby Star stickers officially live. So if you want to pick up stickers, you want to pick up a house tee, you want to pick up a rotary hat, they're all live. With that said, that is all I have for this video. I'm super excited to do some more work to the RX-7. The more I look at it, the more I drive it, the closer we are to getting this thing on some jack stands and tearing it open.